So yeah, welcome. We were supposed to do it a bit earlier, but as this weekend has been happening, there's been a few things happening. It happens with live stream and these kind of stuff scheduling. But we are here, right from the right podcast. We have a special a guest, and obviously this is not a normal chat, live interview kind of a chat. This is where we are talking about scams and hopefully giving people a little bit of education on this, and helping people, men, women, boys, girls. So we're talking about the issue which is happening, which is affecting lots of people. And I can say with my own experience, I've come across it myself. So it has happened a lot. First of all, how are you today? You all right?
I'm doing good. How are you, Ash?
Yeah, I'm good. Matsu Patty? Is that how you
Yes,
pronounce it?
yes. Matsu Patty is fine.
Matsupari. Okay, great, great. How long have you been, talking about these scams, and have you had any experiences yourself regarding these scams?
Well, I've been talking about these scams for about almost 2 years, and
Right.
yes, the reason why I started, MP Cafe because my mother was scammed,
Oh
and
no.
yeah, and I wanted to, just to make sure that people don't get scammed, and other family members has been scammed, so that's why I started, this, and it's very interesting because the older people now you see a lot of romance scams on Facebook, and it just hurts my heart just to see because some of them it's their livelihood. um so yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everybody know the basic rules of not getting scammed, especially when it's so dear to my mother, even though my mom has passed now.
Yeah.
But when she was scammed out of $5,000, you should have seen her face. It was just so heartbreaking. And then we had to tell our dad. I was like, oh my goodness. But that lasted for about a week because technically God was on her side. She lost 5,000. She literally went and played the lottery and won 6,000. So that was a
Oh
happy
wow.
story. Yeah. Yeah, but not all stories are like that.
No.
Yeah. So that there is so many, but lately, if you ever heard, the romance scam, you see that a lot on Facebook, where these older people, they're just so lonely, and then they meet these young or gorgeous male or female, and then they take their conversation off of Facebook and they go to, unfortunately, sometimes WhatsApp, and then they get comfortable with them, and then they start sending money, and then definitely you see a lot of gift cards, which is horrible, by the way. And I think the last one that's indirect, it's a friend of a friend of a friend. She lost close to $50,000 in her savings.
Wow.
That's a romance scam. And you see it all the time. If you just Google or even a YouTube romance scam, a lot of people think that they're, like one lady thought she was going to be marrying, Brad Pitt. But, it's crazy. But realistically, okay, we have a lot of lonely male and female out there who are older. And yeah, they, join these Facebook friends thinking they're just getting friends, but they're really you know, getting caught into these romance scam, buying, different gift certificates, and then at the end of the day, their life savings are just dwindling. So it's happening more and more. And I think the last time I researched it, last year, I think, don't quote me on that, but it was close to a $20 billion romance scam has gone up, I think 26.5%. It is just crazy how it is now.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree with what you're saying. Yeah, it is a crazy number, and like I said, I have come across it myself, and I know people who have as well. And I guess, do you think? I mean, obviously, we're talking about there are lots of different types of scams. Obviously, the two main
Mhm.
ones, obviously the crypto scams, and there's a romance scam. If
Yes.
we talk about the romance scam first of all,
Right.
the romance scam is not just on one or two sites, is it? It's a lot of these sites which
Hmm.
are scamming people. Whether you look at Tagged, Tinder,
Right.
Hinge, Grinder, OK Cupid
Hmm.
has been named.
Uh-huh.
And there's many more as well, dating sites which are scammers are going on. So do you think these sites, they're not doing enough to protect people?
They are not. They are not. And a lot of them don't have regulations for that. And you're
Yeah.
thinking that you're just getting like a nice guy or a girl, but realistically these romance scam, they're either coming out of Myanmar or Cambodia for sure. There's different pockets, of where these are coming out. And I wish that the dating sites and also Facebook would try to do more regulations, but unfortunately, sometimes the government don't care for that because there's a lot of money involved. Realistically, if you own a dating site, what are you looking for at the end of the day? It's all monetary stuff. There
Hmm.
is like minor things that the disclaimer, but it's up to the individual who are on the actual dating site to do your due diligence. People are looking for love. At the end of the day, we just want a partner, right? But
Yeah.
unfortunately, I wish there should be some type of guideline that all these different sites, our government would get, together. Unfortunately, if we live in a perfect world, that would happen, but it's going to keep going on and on and on. So yeah. So if you are on the dating site, you just have to be cautious. Do your due diligence. Don't fall in love that like he's like the greatest things. There's like different precautions that you can do. There's a lot of tech and AI that I always tell like a friend of mine. If you're on the dating site, screenshot there's a software that you can actually upload a picture of the particular person, and it will tell you how many sites that picture has been used. That's one of the way that you have to be very cautious.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think you do have to look at that, and obviously, I think a lot of people, including myself and friends of mine, I
Hmm.
think we're guilty of doing that. And when we rush, we register on these kind of sites. We are guilty of not checking
Right.
anything and thinking, because obviously we are fine. We don't think everybody in the world is perfect, and we
Right.
think that that the other person is as genuine as we are, and they can't be a scammer. They have to be really nice. They have to be this, but it looks like obviously the other side isn't as rosy as we think it is it really?
Right. And it's not. And realistically, if you get scammed, do you think everybody's going to report it? Actually, the answer is no. That's why the numbers are so high, because they're ashamed, that I cannot believe I fell into this, I was so stupid. So, the shameness, comes and they're like, okay, I'm not going to tell you, or I'm not going to tell the authorities. So, society does not like that. So it's a little dangerous when you're out in these dating sites, so I always tell a friend of mine, always, because she's always on the dating site, just be careful, and if you do get scammed, there's the police for one would help you, and don't be ashamed, so you would just want to try to help society to make sure that that scammer does not get somebody else.
Hmm. That is true. And these scammers, I mean, when they're doing it, I mean, the main one, obviously, am I right? Are you from the USA? Am I correct in
Yes.
saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah, USA. Obviously, which I've seen. I mean, in the UK, talking about
Mhm.
the UK first, um, there's been lots of this romance scams in the UK.
Yes.
over the last few years, it's been increasing a lot in the UK. I presume in America it's basically the same situation as well.
Yes, scammers don't really care what location you're,
Mm,
at,
yeah,
and if there's always people who are lonely or trying to find love, scamming is always going to be there. And
right.
believe it or not, unfortunately, I hate saying this, but there's a lot of scammers on all social media platforms besides Facebook and Instagram. There's scammers on TikTok constantly. So you just have to be careful. Uh, don't don't answer everything. If you get a message of saying, hello, how are you, are you so and so, don't answer it. In my opinion, if you don't know the person, why are you answering it? Don't be that curious.
There's another one which I've seen when I had originally registered to that, and because somebody said to me, "Oh, hi, are you on Threads?" But
Hmm.
now I've seen that there's lots of scammers on there as well.
Yes, 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 yes. And Instagram and Thread is part of Facebook, and
Mm,
the owner, Mark Zuckerberg, has been to Congress, but realistically, they're not doing enough. You know,
then no, yeah,
they
that's
are
true.
not. We need true regulations that our government need to put down, and each government in each country realistically need to come together and figure out what is the best way to shield these fake accounts, or in particular all these scammers. Because if you look at my profile, your profile on Facebook, we have thousands of followers. If you have just maybe, like, say 3,000 and all the pictures are just you, I have a feeling that's a fake account. You know what I mean? So there has to be some type of software that these, companies, these, social media companies or other companies that can detect fake, and accounts and regulate them. So, the men and women in UK, or, here, all across, the world, especially in Australia. The last one that I saw, gosh, she lost like almost $1 million. It's just crazy how this
Wow.
romance scam keeps going after these people. You see it
Mm,
day in and day out. So I'm trying to come up with, some type of list, just to help, the people who are on social media, what to look for, on certain accounts. What if people say, hi, hey,
right.
I'm a friend of so and so? Realistically, why are you answering that? If you're not 50% sure, don't answer it, block it. Go to that so and so friend, figure it out, because you always can unblock. You know what I mean? Just
Exactly.
have
That's true.
safety measures in place, and we have to have common sense. Unfortunately, everybody's in love, and common sense just go out the window. And we truly have to have common sense, because if not, you're going to lose $1 million like the lady in Australia. And then another person here, you know um he was excuse me, she was a auditor, very smart, very intelligent. I think she also have like a master's. Well, guess what? The scammers don't care if you have all that. All they want to know is how much money are you willing to give me, because I'm in love with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that is true, and and the main one is that the same in the USA as well. The main one of the romance scams is where they take you off the site, and
Hmm.
then they start saying do investments and that kind of stuff.
Yes, on crypto. Yeah, it's like,
Crypto.
yeah, it starts as a romance scam, and
Yeah.
then they take you to a different site, and they're like, invest this, okay? And then what they do is like, okay, we want to do in crypto. They create a fake crypto site that
Mm,
literally looks legit, like
yeah.
very legitimate. And then you put your money in, and then as a tester, you say you put five or $600, and then you get a return. Then you're like, okay, you're going to pull some money out. Well, they'll allow you to pull it out. Okay. You're like, okay, this is a good investment. Let me put a little bit more in. They probably allow you to do that 2 or 3 times. And then when you start to put like hundreds of thousands, that's where the actual, scam starts. They'll give you fake reports, and then they state, oh, you can't take this out, you got to pay a certain fee. And then
Mm,
eventually, by the time you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in this fake crypto, account, guess what? Your money is gone,
yeah.
and you just realize that you've just been taken for. And a lot of people don't know how to report scams, so we can go into that. You can call your local police. Here, I think you can call the FTC and report that here in the US.
Mm,
And unfortunately, sometimes, once you hit crypto, I don't know. I mean, I have a basic crypto wallet, but what I remember is once it goes in the crypto wallet, it is very hard to trace. It can go into 6 or 7 different wallets and then it's gone. So
yeah.
the authorities are having a hard time. They can actually track it because each wallet have an address, but it's going to be very hard to get your money back. Will you ever get your money back? I would say no.
It's difficult. It's very difficult because obviously, like you said, they do use these kind of fake platform which are created in this way, which looks
Right,
legit. So obviously, we wouldn't know unless we are very tech savvy. We wouldn't
right,
know really which is a real crypto one from a fake one. Would they look the same? And those
right.
those people who have done it, they're
Hmm.
probably somewhere who designed it. They're probably a designer in India or somewhere else like that, a
Well, yeah,
different country. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and they created it. It's like
yeah.
a group of people, and the scammers are getting paid a commission or something from
Hmm.
them.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I could see there's one channel on YouTube. I wish I remember the name of it. But yeah, they
Mm,
did break everything down regarding how the crypto scam work. So just, be careful. I always tell, myself, if it's offshore, we have a problem with crypto. You know what I mean? It's not regulated. So,
mm,
here in the US, there's onshore crypto like Coinbase, it is regulated, but
yeah.
anything that's offshore, I will not do because it's unregulated and it is just the wild, wild west out there. So just be careful. And, you should, realistically, let's come back to common sense. If you want to do crypto, don't you want to talk to somebody, who has like a crypto, experience instead of somebody on the internet that you just met like maybe like a month ago? So we go back
Mm,
to common sense again, right?
yeah. That's true. I guess what it is when they look at, I think what it is, and I think including myself, has been guilty of this, and other people who I know have been guilty of this. Is that when we look at the figures they're giving, I
Hmm.
think we don't think. I don't think the majority of people don't think properly at that time. Maybe it's all just all muddled up, and they're thinking, "Oh my goodness me, I'm earning so much money," and
Right,
they're probably working in a hard job where they're doing long hours per day, 9, 10 hours or something, or long hours.
right,
And they're thinking, okay, it's a way to earn a very quick buck. But obviously, these things are obviously too good to be true,
right,
obviously.
right,
Um,
right,
and unfortunately, then obviously afterwards you suffer, and those scammers have earned more money by scamming people, basically. And
right.
those companies who've designed the platform, they're earning loads of money as well. So
Yeah, I know. And then you'll see a lot of social media too that doesn't help the scamming situation where you have these crypto bros, saying, here, invest in this. And then, a lot of people do. And then what they do is they rug pull the people who put the money in, and then everybody's out. So you see all these influence, sort of saying, hey, there's always a new crypto or crypto meme constantly coming out. I was like, oh my gosh. So how many people are making the money? Everybody who would actually invest is not making the money. It's the actual, the crypto bros or social media, because they're rug pulling. That's one of the things that I see. So once again, I just
mm,
stay safe and um, If you want to go to crypto, ask ask somebody who actually knows the actual crypto, or how to invest.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, what I've seen in the UK, I mean, in the UK, back in this is 2024, which I don't have the figure for 25, but in 2024, there was actually 17,000 reports were made in 2024 of
Wow.
crypto scams in the UK. These are just reported ones, basically.
Right. Could just imagine
Um,
that's
and the ones which were reported, we don't know how many, how many of them in the UK which were
right,
unreported of crypto
right,
scams.
right.
This is in the UK. Now, obviously, which were reported in the USA to the FBI were 41,500 complaints
Wow.
regarding crypto scams, and that was in 2024. That was reported to the FBI
Mm,
in 2024, 41,500. And these are just reported ones, not unreported ones.
right,
So,
right,
so you can see how serious of a situation this is becoming now
right.
regarding the crypto scams.
Hmm.
Like you said, there's various ways they can do it. There's the romance scams, like you said. That's one way to do it. You
Hmm.
know, one easy way to do it, I guess.
Right.
And then there are other methods these scammers use because they're professional in what they do, are they really, to be
Yeah,
honest?
they are. Another one what we can actually transition to is all these texting scams. Here in the
Yeah,
US, we have tolls. You know what I mean? We have basically here, in all 50 states, we have a certain tolls that we have to pay, like a sun pass and stuff like that. Okay. So you get this text, it looks legit. It's saying that you have an outstanding, toll of, say $1,300. And if you don't pay, your driver's license is going to be suspended. And then they have a link. And if you click on it, it's going to take you to a different site, and they can actually, if you type your information, they can A, steal your identity, B, and probably take your credit card. So it was so bad last year, Raj, that even the FBI had to, get involved and, make this, like a public announcement. Do not, click on the link. So, and everybody use tools. I use tools once in a while, but I would never. I've learned never to click on any link when I get it. So that's another huge thing right there, and it can be a
mm,
link. Besides the toll, if you have like an iPhone, it says, "Hey, you have an outstanding balance. If you don't, pay this amount, your phone will be, your account will be locked at Apple." So that's another thing that's happening again. So I guess you would consider these are like phishing, with a PH, phishing,
yeah, fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's huge too. That is actually taking a lot, So fake texting, fake emails, fake websites. So you just have to be very careful, Just don't click on it. Just realize realistically, do you think that, the government is actually having time in their whole busy thing that they're doing that's going to send everybody this, text saying that you have an account? No, you know, they're not going to do that. So just be careful. Don't click on any link that you don't know. You know what I mean? And here, I don't know how it is in the UK, but here in the US, each state has a site, government, DMV, Department of Driver's License and Motor Vehicle. You can actually go there
yeah.
and make sure, and you got to have your actual license, the actual license, and you just have to make sure that you type the number in, and they'll tell you if your license is suspended or stuff like that, you know. And then you'll probably, if you do a lot of tolls, you'll get a letter in the mail if you read your mail that how much you owe. So either way, those are the two safety rules that you should always check. Never click on a link at all, ever.
Yeah. No, hope anyone who's watching this and who's watching this afterwards, do remember do remember this. Make sure you don't click on any link. Yeah. So basically, the main thing is you think scammers they target certain countries like USA, UK. Are these countries are a soft touch when it comes to scamming? Basically.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah. Yeah.
it seemed like the last few years, the US, obviously there's a lot of retirees who have a lot of money and they know that, you
Hmm.
know. So look like we are target, the UK are target, and a lot of Australia. But keep in mind, there's little pockets like, Singapore. They have a huge scamming issue too, and that's
Yeah.
for like texting, like phone scams, So, but the U.S., you know, they seem to want to target, the retirees or the older generation because they don't know tech, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine, just, if you have a grandmother or even an older parent, that they'll get on these Facebook. I keep saying Facebook because that's where a lot of I get a lot of tools and everybody's sending me stories, on there, So you have like different groups, like older senior groups, and they're starting to target them more often because they're retired, or unfortunately their spouse leave, their life insurance. So they're an easy target.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely, and this was the main reason we thought we would do this. We would do this show episode because this situation, I think, it's a very serious, it's a serious situation now.
Right,
It's becoming a very serious situation where millions of people are getting scammed,
right,
romance scams, and obviously via the romance they're getting the crypto. It's all interlinked, it seems to be, and it's all it's becoming a serious situation at the moment. And obviously there's probably other investment scams which, like you said, are happening as
mhm,
well a lot, which some people are investing in the wrong things as well.
right.
Yeah.
They are. We're starting to see that because a lot of people, are kind of leery of the banks,
Mm.
and they feel that they want, the money to work for themselves. You would think that they would go with a conglomerate Fortune 500, sort of like, Charles Schwab or even Principal or Fidelity Investments, but they don't. They, like as you stated earlier, they see, somebody send them a fake statement that you can turn their $10,000, $20,000 like within a month or 2 months with a high risk yield, and it can change into 100 or 200,000. So you're starting to see that quick money, it never works out at all. So
Yeah,
unfortunately,
so the main thing with this is, in a nutshell, is make sure if you are investing money, it is you are looking at below the website where it says are they regulated or they're not regulated,
mhm,
and regarding your money, are the FCA regulated in the UK, and I think in America they'll be regulated as well. If
right,
it's a proper one investment,
right.
like you said, like Coinbase, and there's a couple of more which are regulated. Um, you are just going onto those sites, and obviously getting advice if you need advice from someone who knows about investments is a very good thing to do as well if you're not sure. It's always best. It is always best to check on that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, definitely something. We can go on and on about this because it's
It's,
it's just
yes, one of those subjects that you're like, I cannot believe that person fell for it. You know what I mean? But then
mm,
afterwards, you realize, okay, if you're doing quick judgments, you just need to step back. And if I can add one more thing to the actual website. Down below each website has a year, of when it was basically created. If you see an investment website that was like 2006, that's definitely a scam. If you see it in 2025, that's definitely a
Mm.
scam, and so forth. So they're just
Yeah,
basically creating a quick website, besides the FDIC, look for the actual date down at the bottom. But yeah, it's just very, I think the scammers are emotional driven. You know, we are, if you can play on that person's emotion of greed, of making more money or
yeah,
loneliness, you can
yeah.
be part of that scam, and you just gonna be careful. And they're going to build trust, and it's not overnight. It can be months. That's what another thing that I probably want to mention. I think it's called what, pig butchering. They just
Mm.
keep going after you and after you, making sure that they trust you. And it may not be like a romance scam. It may just be a good friend. And
Mm.
casually, like 6, 7 months, it's the long, conversations. Like, hey, just let I made like $10,000 off of this. It's sort of like a casual thing. And they're like, what? How did you make 10,000? You know what I mean? So if you're curious, I'm going to say, hey, Raj, I've been friends for 6 months. Guess what? Oh, let me check on my investment. Oh my God, I made $10,000. This is amazing. They make it sound like it's so easy. And then they eventually are like, no, I'm not going to share it with you. But then the next time they'll share it with you. So just keep,
Oh yeah.
trust.
I've had that as well, where I've had messages, do you want a job? And you can earn so much money.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
emotion,
Mm.
so you have to be
Click on this.
careful with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Join our group, and
Yes.
and they try to make you join the group, and then they obviously try to scam me out. So be careful of that as well, because that's a massive one as well, where these kind of groups are happening, where you're getting messages, and they're saying you can earn a very quick buck and you can earn loads of money. But if that was the case, then they would be earning loads of money themselves in that way, which they
Right.
don't. They
Right.
don't,
Right.
because it doesn't exist. You have to you have to put the hard grind in to earn money.
Right.
If it's a business, if it's a startup, if it's a normal job, you have to earn the grind to earn money. There's no
Right.
quick fix. There's no quick way to do it. It's a scam, and just make sure you are not doing that and going joining those kind of groups,
I agree.
um, and getting scammed out with us, which is a massive a massive one on there. First of all, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Um, it's been nice to have your insight on this, regarding the scams. You've told us obviously about your own family experiences and situational advice, and I hope people who watch this and who are going to be watching this can take this on board, and hopefully they can learn about this, because obviously we want to avoid as many people as we can getting scammed on these things, whether it's a romance or crypto scam or job scam. We want to avoid as much as we can on this, and yeah. So thank you very much for coming on, and
Thank you so much for having me.
on there, and obviously, and yourself. Are you like? Do you like work privately somewhere, or
Well, we own a lot of things. Matsu Patty is
right?
a huge brand. Yeah. So technically, yes, we have a streaming service. You can
Okay.
always catch, our podcast at awfully the MP Cafe on Spotify. But yes, I'm all over the place. But we own our own streaming service,
Wow.
and I'm very happy, that I have met you. I think you have enlightened, and thank you for just showcasing me, on this. And I hope we do more podcasts, on this one, and then
Yeah, absolutely.
other subjects. So thank you so much.
No problem. Yeah, absolutely. We will obviously. Yeah, absolutely. I am looking to do different programming now on this podcast. So we will be bringing you on. We will be doing specials on this more. and more on different topics, because we need to do these kind of stuff as well. It's very important these days where the world isn't as nice as we think it is. So we need to do
Yes.
more stuff like this as well. Definitely, that's the thing to do. So we will be bringing you on uh, very soon, and we will be doing stuff like this and other stuff. So do check it out, and do check out our podcast as well, and do check it out. Is it available on all the good audio podcasts and places?
Yes, it's on all of our yeah, on all, you can just catch my podcast on all the live, all the main podcaster. Yeah, definitely, But yeah, I enjoy this very much. And then we're actually, since for the streaming, and we can also tell your audience, I would love to actually create an account on our streaming service, so we can actually showcase you, so everybody can go on there and actually see you, or all around the world, 400,000 people. So yes.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That is actually a good idea as well. Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Definitely. We will be hopefully doing something like that very soon with yourself.
Sounds
Yeah. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoy your rest of the day and the weekend. And yeah, I know, and we will obviously speak soon about doing stuff on the podcast, and obviously the thing which you mentioned as well. Thank you very much, and we'll speak to you soon. And thank you for coming on. And just a quick heads up as well to everyone that yes, last night we had some technical issues, so we didn't have the live chat with Rose or the Canadian singer like we were planning. After 10 minutes, we had a live stream issues, but it is happening tonight, 12:45 a.m. UK time, which is technically Sunday the 25th. Technically, if you want to go technic, it is but Sunday. So 12:45 a.m., which is technically Sunday, the 25th. Do join us live for that tonight. Until then, this is from Raj from the podcast saying, have enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you tonight, midnight. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Matsu, for coming on there.
all right, no problem. Thank you. I'll see you. Bye bye.